going? Heads and tails. Heads.
James Lowe's officiating on the field as captain for the Bradford Bulls because Robbie Paul is on the bench.
Okay, Warrington kick off.
These are the sides. And for this, their 27th semi-final appearance, Warrington are without their regular fullback Lee Penny. He broke his thumb last week against Salford. Alan Hunt, the only player in the side with a winner's medal, fills in. Those two, Breers and Langer, will be key players, but will they be operating behind a beaten pack? Warrington hope not. No such machinations for the cup holders. They're missing Gartner injured and Gilmore ill. Vicona scored 4 times against Warrington in the quarter-final 2 years ago. And the coach Brian Noble likes to rotate his props. Today it's Vangenaar and McDermott to begin with.
Okay, fellas, stay behind.
And the referee, Stuart Cummings, who's been in charge of the last 2 World Cup finals. Now, so much is going to depend, particularly from Warrington's point of view, Jonathan Davis, on the opening 10 minutes or so and the tone that they can set.
Yes, they've got to, be in their faces, not leave them have a role, but keep their discipline. That's the big thing. They've got to keep the discipline, keep 13 players on the field. They've had a problem with that this season, but they have the ability. And there's a penalty straight away. You can't give them field position.
It's Martin Masella, who's been pulled up by the referee, Mr. Cummings. Masella has started the game in place of Danny Nutley. Masella getting in the way of the ball. And the thinking behind that from the Warrington coach, Darryl Vandervelde, is that he wants plenty of aggression in this opening quarter.
Yeah, he's got to match him. So look, this guy, Joe Vangenaar, he's a huge player, but tremendous offloading talent as well.
Bradford, the only unbeaten team in British Rugby League this season, played 6, won 6. There was Danny Nutley sitting on the bench to start with, having been scalped especially for the occasion by the looks of it. Here's James Lowe's. Now Forshaw, danger lurking in every Bradford player, and Warrington have to hold out in these early stages. Here's Deacon, missing out Spruce. It's not the best of passes. It's picked up by Jamie Peacock, and Peacock's kept it alive. Not what Warrington can really afford. Vicona, such a powerful Tongan wingman. Lowe's, chip through, took a deflection and then was picked up by a very grateful Andrew G.
Well, they'd be happy with that. They held him up. As you said, John, they do look extremely dangerous. It's just communication in defence they need to work on. Good set of 6 now, that's what they do on a good kick. Give them a lot of confidence at the start of the game.
Andrew G, he won't take a backward step. And this is a penalty to Warrington, so they can relieve some of this early pressure, and we can visit the touchline for the first time. As we see Masella being hit slightly high by McDermott. And our man down on the touchline is Richard Duckenfield.
Yes, John, the expectation on the Bulls bench is that Warrington will come at them as hard as they possibly can in the first 10 minutes, just to try and knock them out of the stride. The difficult thing to do against the Bulls. It'll be interesting to see if the referee too, if he keeps a good 10 yards between these sides, well, maybe that'll just about favour Warrington, because Bradford move up so very, very quickly indeed.
There was definitely a hand in there, I felt, there by Joe Vangenaar, and the G wasn't happy with that.
Right,
it just says, look at the difference in the packs. It is a huge pack. It's not only in the pack. You've got a massive team. You've got Naylor, Withers, Vicona. They're just a big, big side.
Hi, Marty.
Be grateful of a breather, even after so little of the game.
Let's go.
It's a warmish day. Temperature pushing up towards 60 degrees. Bright sunshine. And an ideal playing surface as well, despite the fact that a soccer match was played here only yesterday.
And out!
Bradford Bulls supporters howling for a high shot on Scott Naylor. Nothing given by the referee.
Real mismatch on the left-hand side for Warrington. They've got Naylor, Vicona, Stenhouse. It's Andreas is out there, so big
to Spruce. Could arguably say there are mismatches across the field, and it's Warrington's job to try and neutralise the effect of that if they possibly can. Spruce. Now by Kona. Wrapped up in the end by Sibbott, but he needed the help from Tawera Nico. Henry Paul to Deacon, who look left and look to the air. And Withers is gaining ground on Rob Smythe, and it's been spilt, and Withers tries to get a hand on it. And Withers celebrates what he believes is a try. Riggin was in there as well, trying to get his hand onto the ball. Now it's down to the video referee.
Offside's fine. I want to see.
Look at interference and onside. That's what they want to check. See if they were onside on the pit. Definitely no interference there. Rob Smythe just dropped it, and all of a sudden, is he holding him back? No, that's fair. There's no problem there.
Does have hold of a pleat of his shirt, but then let go, and it was Withers that
got there first. Riggin got there second, so I don't think there's any doubt to see if they're onside. No, they're onside. That should be a try. Definite try.
Just a question of whether Withers or Riggin got to it. It was Deacon's kick, and it was high and hanging and very awkward for Rob Smythe running backwards. Too awkward, as it turned out.
Yeah, and I think you were right. There is Withers. He just delays. Well, I think he got his hand down from the other angle. Definitely Withers. You were right, John.
It was a real stretch for Michael Withers. But there's downward pressure there, and that's what matters.
Definite try. And Ian Ollerton is the video referee. He's got an easy start to the afternoon, I feel.
And Michael Withers scores in his 9th consecutive Challenge Cup tie. He seems to reserve his best for this competition. 19 cup tries in 13 Challenge Cup ties. Henry Paul for the extra 2. Narrowly wide.
Warrington will be disappointed. They did defend really well and force them into kick, but again, you know, the height advantage through this Bradford side. Smythe is a short winger, and then he comes, and he's very good at it with this. Although he did interfere, and it was a poor take by Smythe. It's always difficult to defend.
Well, there are two schools of thought, Jonathan. One is that Warrington really needed to score first in the game. The second one is the contrary view, that would only have annoyed Bradford.
They've just got to keep on playing and defend. That's it. Not throw the towel in, because they need ball and need field position early on.
Here's Shane Riggin, who's been very impressive since joining from the Sydney Roosters. Henry Paul. Ball moved with abandon to Spruce, and now Scott Naylor.
That's 4. Here we go. Hey, never mind that. Get on again. All right, we get in there.
Brian McDermott.
Last! Out, T! Get out! All the way, fellas, all the way!
Henry Paul's kick, testing out the makeshift fullback Alan Hunt, and it set up nicely for him.
Okay, tackle 1! Stand out, Jamie! Wait for his spot, fellas, wait for his spot.
Stenhouse, 20-year-old winger from the Crossfields Amateur Club, starting for only the 9th time in his career today. Smythe.
That's 3!
You need the forwards to just click in now. The backs have done the work. You need the forwards to make those hard yardage.
Wait with me, wait for his foot, wait!
Warrington, in contrast to Bradford, have yet to win a Super League game, and their progress to this stage of the competition has come against an amateur side, Woolston, a Northern Ford Premiership team in Lee, and then the remaining French side, Villeneuve, in the quarter-finals. So they haven't been attuned to top-flight opposition in quite the same way as Bradford.
Right, tackle 1, let him on!
And as we mentioned, the Super League form is very poor. A home defeat to Salford, and the fans really got on their back.
And you add to that the fact that one of their star signings, the veteran Aussie Kevin Walters, decided to retire a couple of weeks ago, unexpectedly. And as yet unnamed player has failed a drugs test. The coach's mother is seriously ill and required him to go back home to Australia, and that, by the way, a knock-on by Riggin. Darryl van der Velde only returning on Tuesday. and not gelling on the field, and off it financial problems and difficulties in getting together their bid for a new stadium.
Well, this is a chance for them now. They've not gone there. I think it's re-gone there. Wasn't expecting it. So they've got field position. Let's see what the backline can do. Just try and get into the attacking zone of Bradford and see, because with Langer, Nico and Briers there, they've got great offensive plays.
Martin Masella is walking towards the touchline, not walking particularly freely, and Danny Nutley is on, and they certainly didn't want to have to make that change after only 7 minutes of play.
No, they knew it was one of their forwards up.
Here's Hunt.
Right, tackle one, stand out, Scott!
Briers at acting halfback, and now George Ellis, another veteran Australian, despite the fact that he has a Greek father, a Dutch mother and a Scottish wife. Maybe he's better described as cosmopolitan. George Ellis again, now Langer. Nico. Now through the hands of McCurry to Koa-Love. Koa-Love flicks it out. Here's Rob Smythe for the corner. Warrington with an immediate riposte.
That's a brilliant pass by Koa-Love. He comes inside, he's extremely dangerous, and Smythe had an easy run in. But that try was made with Koa-Love. Superb step, and then a lovely flip out of the back. This is the offensive line. You've got Langer to Nico, then Koa-Love. He comes inside Regan, and watch this ball. That's superb rugby. And it's an easy run in for Smythe. He's made up for the mistake for the Bradford try, and that'll give a lot of confidence to the Warrington side. Just watch it. He comes inside Regan, steps aside, fends Deacon, nothing on. Withers doesn't know what to do, and that's a beautiful pass out to Smythe, and Withers has been pulled in out of position. Great response by Warrington.
Great celebrations too amongst the pack of Wolves supporters. Rob Smythe, who for a number of seasons was Jason Robinson's understudy on the staff at Wigan, and now a chance for Lee Briers to put Warrington in front, and he's done it. And Warrington would take the final hooter here and now. Unfortunately, there are still 70 minutes to play. Pass of the tournament, Jonathan.
So far, look at this play. Bang, fends him off, and an offload. That's a superb pass. If you keep it running on there, what will happen is Withers is the man. He's on the outside. If you just stop it there a minute, it's this guy that's going to get dragged in, and they're going to get on the outside of him. If you run it there, watch him. He comes in, steps aside, bang. He's caught in, and he's pulling out of position. Superb play.
Now Warrington in possession, but inside their own 20. And here's Danny Nutley, who's one of the best go-forward prop forwards in Super League. Briers kick. Getting Vaikono turned around. And there's Masella, who's had to leave the fray much earlier than Warrington would have wanted, and he has an egg-shaped bump on his head, and Danny Nutley has had a haircut specially to mark the semi-final.
Yeah, a bit severe, that haircut alone. Down to the bone.
Of the enforced changes in the Wolves ranks, Dean Busby has gone off with what looks like a deep gash on the top of his head. He'll be okay. A few stitches can be patched up. Martin Masella also had to leave the field. Martin looked quite groggy. It was a blood binning, but you'll remember that he took quite a severe blow to the bridge of his nose earlier in this game. His head's about to clear, I think.
It'll take a lot to keep Martin Masella off the field for the rest of this semi-final tie. Vanganar. Henry Paul, long pass to Regon, who's got Withers outside him. Smythe trying to hang on, and those passes are in vogue now, but that one went forward.
Yeah, good position. There you go, watching there. He's trying to flick it again. Yeah, he definitely flicked it forward, and Cummins was in a very, very good position.
Darrell van der Velde, who took Castleford to the 1992 final. He's in his last year as the coach of the Warrington Wolves.
and he'll be happy. They've hit back, showed a lot of confidence. And Warrington, look, they're doing extremely well, and they've got to keep it simple. Just keep the ball and keep the ball away from Bradford. Unfortunately, they haven't done it yet.
So far, so good for the massive underdogs, the Warrington Wolves. 16-1 shots when the semi-final draw was made to lift the trophy for the first time in 27 years. Last time they won it, Alex Murphy was their inspiration against Featherstone in 1974. Bradford, in contrast, the 11-10 favourites to win the cup for the second year running. Nico. Now Alan Hunt, elusive runner at his best, Alan Hunt.
Yeah, they seem to be attacking the left-hand side of Bradford.
Here's Langer. McCurry bouncing off, couldn't get the ball away. It's the last tackle. This is where they need some inspiration. Here's the man, Langer, with the diagonal chip through. Awkward for Vicona, who spilt it. This will go to the screen as well. But Vicona got an awful bounce. Couldn't hold it in. And have Warrington scored again? It's Lee Breers on the ground where he was so outstanding in the World Cup semi-final against Australia.
They want to see if he's offside. I think they're onside. Definitely Breers. Breers is the third man out. He is definitely onside. Terrible bout of Vicona, but a great chase. Scored under the stand.
But he was within bounds. Lee Breers thinks he scored.
He just wants to see. I think it's a try. He's in line. He's onside, and Breers is the third man out. So I would say that's a try. So it's a very, very simple. Look, there he goes. This is the kick again. Holds it up. Definitely onside. Definitely onside.
Wonderfully disguised, if typical kick from Alfie Langer. And Breers set off like a hare. Hoped for a bad bounce, got an awful bounce, which was in his favour, and then plunged for the try. Ian Ollerton, the video referee, has the chance to send the Wolves into ecstasy.
Well, very, very simple game plan, isn't it? They just keep the ball, a little kick at the end of the set of six, and a great chase.
And this is an unfamiliar feeling for the Bradford Bulls.
And I doubt if there's any complacency there now.
What is it about the McAlpine and Lee Breers? This waif of a standoff. Had a wonderful game against the Aussies in the World Cup here for Wales. Oh, put the mockers on him.
Thanks very much, John Champion.
Sorry to hinder one of your fellow Welshmen.
Yeah, I know. But watch him, he is such a craftsman, isn't he? Lovely weighted kick, bouncing on the floor. He can't do anything about that by corner. Maybe, should have taken it. It was a good chase.
Well, Warrington have the base on which to build. They're playing a side that in 3 Challenge Cup ties, Bradford have scored 28 tries, 160 points. It's been a free-scoring winning season for them so far. A 100% record. But now they find themselves on this ground behind, as indeed they did when playing the home team Huddersfield in a Super League match on this same pitch 7 days ago. They came through and won that. A long way to go. McCurry. Here's the last tackle. Langer, boot to ball. Withers, waiting for the bounce.
Yeah, offside, and that's it's giving them field position. But they'll be very happy. Alfie Langer is controlling things. They're going forward, they're making the yards, and it's making it a lot easier for Alfie Langer at the moment.
It's perhaps a point worth making that although Bradford traditionally in recent years have had the upper hand against the Warrington Wolves, in their last and most recent meeting last May in Super League at Wilderspool, Warrington beat them 42-32, having been 18 points behind at half-time, and Langer that day scored 2 tries and was a total inspiration. Forshaw.
Get out, Paul!
All the noise is Warrington noise at this juncture. Peacock, half a gap. Nico pulled him in, helped by Breers. James Lowes, Henry Paul, Banganar.
You see Alfie Langer going on behind Joe Banganar, waiting for the offload, similar to Sculthorpe's try yesterday.
Penalty.
You're offside or interfering, Danny. You can't be in both places, mate.
Interference from Danny Nutley.
Well, you're interfering then. They can't be in
And they're
both
going to go
places.
for the 2 points.
And that's showing a little bit of respect for Warrington, isn't it? You know, no quick tap, and there's Nutley offside, interfering to come in.
So this will offer a chance for Bradford to get back within 4 points.
Stay back, fellas. 1 metre that side of the line. 1 metre that side. 1 metre. Well, 1 metre back.
Henry Paul, who contributed 20 points in the semi-final between the same two sides last season at Headingley. Off the mark again today.
Yeah, nice easy kick. A lot easier than his first kick on the touchline.
Calm down. I tackle over there. Calm down.
Enormous support for Bradford numerically here.
I was talking to Brian Noble before kick-off, and he was really worried about it because, you know, this is, they all want to go to the Challenge Cup final. It's very financially rewarding for them. It's a great day for the supporters and the players and management. And he just thought that everything pointed at a Bradford win. Warrington had nothing to lose, and he was slightly worried by it all.
Vicona. Tackled successfully by McCurry. Banganar. Bradford shortly will be thinking about spelling their props. The two men mountains, Anderson and Fielden, on the sidelines, ready to come on. There is Paul Anderson.
Just when you think that Banganar's going off, on comes another monster of a man.
There's Naylor. Well, Warrington at the moment is finding things going their way.
Yeah, they're certainly doing very well on left. As I said, you know, you've got Stenhouse and Breers against Naylor and Vicona, and it's a huge mismatch there, but they are getting amongst them, closing their space down, so they're not getting any momentum before they go into the tackle.
Over 5.
Nearly a quarter of this second semi-final gone. Place at Twickenham at stake in just under 4 weeks' time. And here's Alan Hunt, who is the only player in the Wolves lineup to know what it's like to win a Challenge Cup final. For St Helens against Bradford back in 1996. Nutley. Now Langer. Langer looks left. Here's Nico. Nico offloading, but not straight to Langer. And Langer managing to dive on the ball and retrieve it, but they lost 5 or 6 metres. Georgialis. Then McCurry. And McCurry, slipped it out, and it was an ambitious pass, and Heighton, the hooker, couldn't hang on.
Yeah, he's a very dangerous runner, McCurry. Very, very powerful. Deceptively quick. So if they get into this position, they're always likely to create something.
And I expect the Bulls to make some changes very, very shortly indeed. Robbie Paul has been receiving instructions from Brian Noble, the coach. He's ready to come on, and I guess that he will be accompanied very quickly by Stuart Fielden. So they're the changes. It looks as though the Bulls will be making any minute now.
This is the discipline they have to keep. Look, they've got Hampton there, he's stopping him. You can't afford to give Bradford that field position because they're such a powerful side.
Brian McDermott. Checking history. The semi-finals. McDermott sent off in one on this ground 5 years ago.
When they got away, they'll be happy with that. And things aren't going well for Bradford. Noble will be slightly worried, you know, it might be one of those days.
Laying down the law between two vicious packs. Langer, Hunt.
Right, Stewart, move out! Henry, hands out!
Referee
That's
barking
good.
out the orders for the Bradford players to get away from the play the ball.
2, stand out! Come on, Scott!
Anderson. Ready to come on very shortly. Here's Nutley.
3, come on, Scott, again! Wait for your spots, fellas.
Brighton. Now Andrew G. to Alan Hunt. Such was the force of the tackle, a really big hit that the ball came loose.
What a hit! Bang! Smashed and dumped. That was a very dangerous tackle,
Come on, fellas.
but all legal.
Makes you glad you retired.
Yep, very much so.
3, Steve, move out, Lacker!
And there is Paul Anderson, capable of entirely similar tackles. Anderson now driving in, bullocking run.
There's only one way he's going.
Andy.
Blows to Deacon, to Henry Paul. Familiar move, the slipped pass inside Lee Radford and Jamie Peacock there. Peacock couldn't pick it up. Warrington have it back. Now, is that a penalty? It is.
Stand clear, fellas. Please don't milk it. Careful.
Yeah, there is Fielden. Well, great step, Henry Paul, looking for the offload. Didn't go to hand, and that's what's been going on. You know, if it doesn't go right, you get slightly frustrated. On other days, this would have gone, and the pass would have gone to hand. Paul Deacon steps into Breers. Breers milks it a little bit, but interference again. Both sides, you know, we've got to keep the discipline.
I would like to see him milk it a lot then, Jonathan.
Okay, wait for his foot.
This is Danny Nutley.
All right, tackle 1, Paul. Yeah, Nick, have a look, have a look. Oh, wait.
George Alice, former Wests player in Australia.
Here.
Eichen, Nico. Oh, it came loose again. Great joy amongst the Bradford supporters that it was to wear a Nico of all people that let it go.
Here he goes, takes the ball in. A good hit there by Henry Paul. Dislodges the ball.
Right,
And they get a lot of
stand
possession
clear.
at the moment, Bradford, and they will tire.
Get slow in there, Alan.
Henry Paul. Spruce.
2, stand clear.
Blows.
3,
Warrington are,
T, get up.
you know, controlling. They're in the right field position anyway, that's it. And they just come in, clawing back the possession percentage as well.
That's 4.
Deacon with the dummy to pass to Forshaw, didn't let go of the ball. And Forshaw to Henry Paul. Henry Paul with the pass inside to Spruce, which has gone astray again for the Bradford Bulls. One of the hallmarks of Brian Noble's regime this year is the willingness to throw the ball about, but today it's not working at the moment.
No, and it's not going to hand. That's the second time he stepped inside. He's so elusive.
Go, fellas,
Watch him.
let's go, come on.
Steps, throws the dummy. It's a good tackle and an offload. But the cover defence is very good. The communication on the drift defence is very good.
Blood Bean's coming back on, fellas. Sorry?
I think Bradford at the moment are trying to play too much football. They're not going forward. They're not laying the platform, you know, that they're used to, and they need just to go forward a little bit to give Deacon and Henry Paul the ball going forward.
See Danny Nutley going off now for Warrington.
That's better, Mike.
And on in his place, Andrew G. And here's Alan Hunt.
They need a good set here. They're not making much yardage. They need the force and hit. They're on the advantage line, get over it to get some good field position to get a kick in. And the Bradford defence is very, very good here.
4 tackles gone. Scampering run. Gains good yardage.
That's what they wanted on the last tackle.
Breers with the kick. Shouted 40-20 from the referee, but it's going nowhere near the sidelines. It's going very near the in-goal area, and it's retrieved by Stuart Spruce, and the chase is reasonable. But he just manages to escape, does he? No, he's dragged back in. Good work by Warrington.
That's superb work. They've been under the cosh a little bit. You know, they've been stringing sets of 6 together, Bradford, and they were under the cosh. But a superb kick. And a great chase by Coyle. He gets him, he's on his knees and he gets help there from Smythe and Langer. Three of the smallest Warrington guys, but a brilliant chase.
Henry Paul with the deep dropout.
On the Bradford bench with the assistant coach Carl Harrison. Carl, just a case of careless hands. You might have some more points on the board.
Well, we've been a bit unfortunate. It is a very, very warm day and there's a lot of tight bodies out there already. And if we can keep the ball for a couple of sets on the trot, I think we'll score points. But at the moment, Warrington are playing very, very well.
Yeah, they are competing, aren't they, Warrington?
Well, they've come here, there's been a lot of bad pressure regarding them, and they've certainly come and given us a ball game. That is a fact.
Thanks, Carl.
Well, Carl Love was almost in.
Yeah, they created. Watch it again. It's the offload and the tackle. They are creating. And again, Withers there was dragged in and Smythe was left on his own on the right-hand side. But Carl Harrison, ex-teammate of mine, he's slightly worried. The tone of his voice. He wants them to gain their composure, get back into the game.
Stay on side. Stay in, Steve.
Deacon. His half-back partner, Henry Paul. Pass now to Scott Naylor. Infield it goes to Vicona. It's come loose again. Sorry to sound like a record that's stuck, but it's happened so many times.
And it's Breers again. They're going for the ball. The defence is good. The inside defence is working extremely well. Watch this. The offload goes for the hit. Dislodges the ball again. So another opportunity for Warrington to put some more points on the board.
You just sense that they need to take some of these opportunities. There's Dean Busby. Still looking a little groggy. I'm told he will be able to come back on.
Right, hold in there. Stay in, Mike. Stay in, Mike.
A head wound, as you will have seen from that picture earlier in the game. Here's Sibbett. Greer's dummy half looking around at options. One of them is Masella. It was he who replaced Nutley in a reversal of that earlier blood bin. McCurry goes backwards by the power of the tackle. Langer, he's the fulcrum. Oh, the dummy earned him a yard or two. Days of yore, he might even have got away. Poor pass, George Alice picking it up and then surrounded by Bradford tacklers. Last tackle. The directions go from Nico at dummy half out towards Langer in the centre of the field, but this is Breers. Chipped through, took a deflection and has the legs to go behind, which Bradford will be grateful for.
Took a deflection. Whether it was intentional, Cummins said it wasn't. They do look dangerous. And if Alfie Langer has runners on either side of him, you know, he's such a clever player.
Can Langer do it for 80 minutes these days?
I think so. He's still a very, very fit athlete, and you know, he's been around the block a couple of times, but he is a world-class scrum half.
Anderson.
Stronger defence is good as well, isn't it?
Now Robbie Paul. Oh, sidestepping Alan Hunt. Robbie Paul's just come on, and he's straight onto the score sheet.
That's what you call an impact player. I don't think he likes being on the bench. You know, you don't as the captain, but that was brilliant. You don't want to be in Alan Hunt's position with Robbie Paul charging at you with space either side.
At last, Bradford have got something to shout about.
From the acting half-back, goes straight through. He realises there's nobody at marker. There's no one there. Straight through the hole. Alan Hunt left for dead.
Robbie Paul repeats his feat of scoring a try in the semi-final. He did it against Warrington last year as well. And older brother right on target with the extra 2 points. Bradford in front.
This is where the damage is done. There's nobody there. There's sixes and sevens, and all of a sudden, what happens? He just goes straight through the middle. Watch, there's one on the floor. The other guy is sleeping straight through. Alan Hunt has no chance. That's a brilliant try. And this is an elbow coming up here, bang into the face, not spotted. And that's why he was on the floor. Steve McCurry was sleeping.
It was Jimmy Lowes who was guilty of the elbow on Nico.
Let's just calm down a bit.
Yeah, everyone missed that. There he is, James.
Right, T. Right, don't go after him. That's the point of this. There we go.
I just heard Stuart Cummings saying, there we go. I just have a feeling, I know the referee isn't supposed to look at the giant screen, but he may just have caught sight of that replay.
Yeah, well, he was lying on top of him, trying to slow the play down, and just lifted his elbow. And that will give Bradford now the impetus to pick their game up a little bit.
That was Paul Deacon on the bench. It was he who went off for Robbie Paul to come on.
Here we go. Wait for his foot. Wait for his foot.
What a decision that looks to be now. Forshaw. Lowes. Oh, Lowes was taken a little late, but managed to get out of the way of Masella's dive at him. They just raised the temperature a little, that elbow.
Yeah, they've just got to keep their composure, Warrington, though.
Forshaw. Dean Busby back on, having been patched up. McCurry taking a breather. Naylor came off the shins of Rears.
Again, a good decision by Cummings. The ball did hit a Warrington player. A bit scrappy here on the last tackle. What, bang? Yeah, the ball hit the man, so good play by Cummings. Watch that. Simmons was standing there. He had no idea what the ball was doing. It'll be a Warrington.
O'Connor is the Bradford player who's down. Play goes on with Hunt. Left hopelessly exposed for Robbie Paul's try.
And there's a top to nothing in it. Sibbitt's doing well, and of course it's that man Nutley. He is such a workhorse, you know, he's just incredible. He's always up there top in the tackle count. And Henry Paul.
Seemed to go high, unfortunately for him, missed. Nico. Not perhaps quite the force he was a couple of years ago to wear a Nico when he was voted the best loose forward in the world whilst winning the grand final down under with Melbourne. Kick. Too deep.
Yeah, a little bit too hard. It is a great surface. It's McAlpine Stadium. It's a beautiful stadium, and the playing surface is superb.
You're wondering, by the way, why we're calling to wear a Nico, it's because he's asked us to. Despite the fact that for donkey's years he's been known as Nickow.
Oh, mate, you've had him tackled, you've had about 3 goals in him, you've got to clear it. Well, that's all right, he's allowed to get up. He's tackled, you've got to stand in the way. Alan?
He went to run, mate.
We're starting to have a few problems around the play of the ball. I'm going to have to take control of that area, mate. Right, we've got to get out of the play of the ball a bit quicker.
You've got to have the
Take the ball straight.
Andrew G was the player that the referee was largely concerned about.
Yeah, he just flops on him there. He just holds him down. Andrew G said he's trying to get up. Well, that's what I think they're supposed to do, is try and get up. You can't play the ball from the floor. But yeah, he's got to clear it down. And again, it's got a vital 6 minutes to for Warrington to hold out this set of 6 just to get in. You know, 2 points will be very, very good for them.
O'Connor. Whatever happens in the rest of the game, they've performed wonderfully well so far. Now, was that a knock-on by Lowes? Seemed to have 2 attempts at picking up the ball. Play continues. This is Robbie Paul. Audacious pass to Henry Paul, and then Lee Radford who takes the tackle. Henry Paul. Keeping the ball alive very well.
They play so well together, you know, Robbie and Henry. Seems to know what each other's doing.
This is Robbie. There's another test of a smile. He was found wanting last time, not this time.
Yeah, he won't be happy with that. Not enough hang time on the ball for Withers to compete for, and a very easy take for Smythe.
You're managing to maintain your impartiality very well, Jonathan, for someone voted into the all-time Warrington Dream Team.
Well, those are my playing days now. I've got to try and be impartial.
Andrew G, met by Fielden. Those two have a history, which involves them both being sin-binned in the last league meeting between the teams when they took a dislike to one another. Nico to Langer. Now Dean Busby. Love finding some space. Smythe's outside him. Smythe's got to run to the line. Has he got the pace though? Spruce is across. Smythe's still going. Back to Busby.
Again, Love, he just creates the space. He's such a dangerous player.
Last tackle, they need to move it left quickly. It's Langer's chip through. Nico goes for it. Peacock dives on it. But offside given, and it's a penalty to Warrington.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll go for goal under the post. Langer's looking for the ball, which it's come back too slow for him.
Don't take it.
They created the overlap so well, and he's having problems Regan with Love. Tremendous balance. Good cover by Withers and Robbie Paul. But it just creeped offside, and now it's a chance for Breers to level the scores.
Take the 2 points, level the game, and then get the ball back.
Yes, they're doing well. As I said, the clock is running down for half-time. And if they can get the ball and get field position, Love is such a fine player, and he is giving the right-hand side, you know, a lot of options for them, and they're creating overlaps. Withers is coming in off the ball.
This is Lee Breers, and it's 12 apiece, which is far closer than virtually any of the pundits thought it would be, and credit to Darrell van der Velde and Warrington for that.
Doing exceptionally well, leaving their league form behind. But you look at this, right now I'm saying, you look at their team sheet and they look a very, very powerful side. And when they do click, they can compete with anyone. And they're certainly doing that this first half.
Time approaching. This is Andrew G. G is the long-time minder of Alan Langer at the Brisbane Broncos. Played together there for some 10 years. Busby. Brian Noble with one or two things to think about, chewing furiously on that gum.
Yeah, it's not like a league, is it? It's a one-off, and you're either in or you're out.
Casella. A powerful force whilst he's been on the field. Heighten the hooker. Manages to get it away to Georgialis. Referee's arm aloft. This is the last tackle. And it'll be Langer with the diagonal kick through into the corner.
Clever play, slung it though. He knows there's only a minute and a half left on the clock. He'll try and slow the scrum down, but they'll have to make a couple of tackles.
That was Jérôme Guisset, who we've yet to see, the Frenchman who will come on presumably in the second half for Warrington. And they are going to need some fresh legs.
Yeah, they're trying to
if you're set, I'll stop the clock.
run the clock there, aren't they? There's the prop. He knows what he's doing, but he's going to stop the clock. They'll still have to make a couple of tackles, but try and keep them in their own 22.
Go, fellas, we're going to have to go without him unless he's coming. Right, stay there, Bulls.
David Hinchliffe, MP, lifelong Wakefield Trinity fan. Bradford beat them in the last round, so presumably he's supporting Warrington today.
That's one, leading team!
Great supporter of rugby league, though, David Hinchliffe, with the all-party parliamentary group concerned with rugby league matters in the House of Commons.
I think Warrington have got to liven up around the play the ball area. They're very slack at the moment, and with Robbie and Henry on the field, they're going to get cut up. They need to concentrate.
First task, though, is just to keep Bradford out for another 40 seconds or so. 12 all at half-time they'll take. The scoreline is far from secure yet. Bradford will look to the air with Lowe's. Lowe's was caught by Breers, and Lowe's tried to get back and retaliate at him. Be worth following those two, Breers and Lowe's, for a moment when they next come together. Here's Alan Hunt, though. Warrington will just try and hang on to the ball.
Yeah, nothing dull. Hold on, play the clock down, go in, and they'll be very happy with that. And now they can maybe believe in themselves in the second half and say, right, you know, we can win this game.
Well played, Warrington. It's a terrific effort.
Very, very. There's no need for that, Lee. He's played exceptionally well defensively. He's put some good hits in. Just needs to keep his discipline, because if the linesman had spotted that, they would be, you know, might be down to 12 men, and it's difficult enough with 30 men against Bradford. I think Ian and Dennis, you know, right what they said in the fact that if Warrington score, all of a sudden it's game on again. Whereas if Bradford score, you know, I think they'll just kick on and win maybe more convincingly than they played in the first half. So it'll be very, very interesting the first 20 minutes.
Bradford facing the sun in this second half. 2 tries apiece, very tight, lots of opportunities spurned, and a great contest to watch. That's the story so far. And this is Rob Smythe, who scored Warrington's first try. Marcella. Watching on in this state-of-the-art stadium, someone in charge of a decrepit one. Sir Rodney Walker, the chairman of the Rugby Football League, in charge of sorting out Wembley.
That's 4. Hand out, hand out.
Alan Langer. Depth on the kick, doesn't quite succeed in turning Leon Price around. Leon Price, who's come on as a half-time substitute. Price, one of the most exciting young talents in the British game. Just 19 and a half years of age. Vanganar and McDermott sitting things out at the moment.
Warrington will be very pleased with that first set of 6. They made good yardage after the halfway line, and a good kick by Langer and a good chase. So, you know, that's all they need to do. Keep it simple, good field position, and just try and keep the discipline, because offensively they can break anyone down.
Anderson. Ian Fielden kicking things off in this second half in the front row for Bradford. James Lowes scragged by Dean Busby. Henry Paul.
40-20!
Shout of 40-20 from the referee, clearly heard around the stadium, which is well populated, a good crowd for this semi-final. Not full, but not that many empty seats either.
Wait for his foot, Marcus Square.
More subdued Bradford supporters.
And 2!
Which is a rarity.
Hold fellas, Mike. And away.
Wanting to know for the vociferous nature of their backers, if not for their
Stand up, Henry!
number of fans necessarily. Bradford, though, have an army of people that follow the self-styled people's team.
Yeah, they're tremendous support. Great atmosphere, wherever Bradford play.
Dean Busby right on the halfway line. Plenty to bang their drums about at the moment, the Wolves. Langer got the kick away just before he was met by Robbie Paul, and Price takes the ball and then is forced into touch.
Well, the bounce is certainly favouring Warrington at the moment, isn't it? And the chase is good. Again, it's a placement of the kick by Alfie Langer. You can't take it on the full. The ball bounces all over the place, and you know, the chase is exceptional, and they've got a good field position again where to attack from.
There's the inspiration.
You'd love to go to Twickenham.
It's his last chance, and it's a last chance for Andrew G and probably for Tawera Nico as well.
Hey, let's sort it out, fellas. Let's sort it out. Here's the ball coming now. Let's sort it out. Mike, stay in, please. Hold the 5, Stuart. 5.
Forshaw being asked to stay in at the base of the scrum.
Stay in.
His rollers loose forward. Langer to Breers. Breers now finding Ian Sibbett, this rangy second rower who's been converted to play at the left centre position.
No penalties.
Warrington trying to move the ball right. And Heighton did well to get it away to Koa Love, who's wreaked such damage when he has had the ball.
Wait for this one.
Yeah, as Paul Darbyshire said, the assistant coach, try and get the ball to Koa Love. And Dennis Betts also said he's playing all over Regal.
Ball, Mike.
Here's Marcella, straightening up, running straight into Stuart Fielden.
Right, that's 4. Release.
Akin to a dry stone wall. Heighton, Langer, chances here. Langer trying to work back onto his right. Now George Alice. George Alice, though, bouncing off Paul Anderson. It's the last tackle. Guess who'll orchestrate? It's Alfie Langer. And the kick finds Vic Howe.
Offside.
Offside.
He's offside. He's in from the kick. Too late. I've already given him it. He's offside. He's offside.
I can't. Ooh, was he offside? Was he offside? I think he was in line with him, so. And Ian Millward is saying at half-time that how good he is, you know, he just holds the ball, brings the defence onto him, and they know he's got so much class as Alfie Langer that they should give him an extra yard, because, you know, he's got so much time. And why creep in front of him?
Managed to force Bradford into touch again, and look at the way that these Bradford players are pumped up. It's a little bit of a fracas involving G and Fielden, which is unsurprising.
And again, look at the three guys there, not the biggest guys on the Warrington side, just pushing Fielden.
The change made at half-time. Leon Price is on for the Bulls. He's on for Tavita Viconi. You can see there back on the bench who's damaged his ankle. There's an ice pack round Viconi's ankle. Whether or not he can play, well, maybe it doesn't make too much of a difference to Bradford at this stage of the game.
Here's Alan Hunt. Going in from full-back. Greers at dummy half. George Alice up to his left. That's a penalty. Interference at the play the ball.
Yeah, I think they will go. Lee Greers will go for goal. And I think they've certainly started the better in the second half. They're controlling possession and field position. And the defence is very strong. Throwing players over the touchline.
An interesting meeting of the brains trust out there as to what they should do with this penalty. Nico ran up to the point where the penalty had been given and said to Briers, look, go for goal. Langer intervened and said, hang on a minute, let's think about this. They are going to go for goal.
I would think so. At the score's level, you just need to go in front, keep in the game. There's water carriers all over the shop here at the moment.
Greers.
That is a bad miss. I watched him practicing before the game, and he wasn't kicking, very easy then. He was pulling and everything, but that was a kick that he should have got.
I know both sides are concerned at the fact they're playing with a 4-panelled ball in this competition. In Super League, they play with an 8-panelled ball, and they reckon that the sweet spot for kickers is different. Yeah,
I've tested a number of balls out, and I think the 8-panel ball, I would prefer it as a kicker. They would like, it's easier to kick, and that's a lovely kick from Robbie Pollard. Again, poor organisation by Warrington. They were in a good position, and now they'll be under pressure from this scrum with Bradford. But back to the ball. Watch this. Robbie Paul won't be too disappointed with that ball. He struck it very nice, but it is easier to handle and to kick because it has got a bigger, sweeter spot.
Bradford with it. Stuart Fielder. Anderson. Marcella doing well to hang on because Anderson is nearly 20 stone, 6'2".
You wonder how much difference the ball they're playing with actually makes here. You saw Lee Briers miss that kick. Well, they're playing with the 4-panel ball in this game. Now in Super League they normally play with an 8-panel ball. And Dean Lance yesterday after the game was actually making a complaint that his players didn't expect to be playing with the 4-panel, and it took them rather by surprise.
Handling error.
Scrum, Warrington Wolves.
Warrington not fully punished.
No, they've got away with it.
Right,
lack of concentration.
Wait. Okay, let's go. Turn, Robbie.
Langer with the put in. Here's Briers. Trying to get away from Henry Paul, which is easier said than done. Kolar.
Bradford supporters are just starting to make the noise, and they've picked up the intensity of the Bradford defence.
There's Anderson in very firmly on Busby, and there's greater intensity now to every Bradford tackle.
You need to get the kick, get out the year, get the kick in quick.
George Alice hemmed in, and look at Anderson like a man possessed.
Careful, Stuart. Careful.
And George Alice, unsurprisingly, is staying down.
Yeah, I think he ducked into Anderson's midriff then, and that's not recommended. He caught himself in an uncomfortable position, and I think he's been smashed. Watch, he ducks in and bang, here he goes, whack. He certainly felt that. It's dangerous, when the injury is to the neck, isn't it? Watch, he ducks his head, and what happens? If he catches him, bang! That's all the pressure coming on the neck. Very, very dangerous.
You're absolutely right about the way in which Bradford have picked up, helped by their supporters. Just in trying to defend against this set of 6 from Warrington.
And I felt, you know, when they're under that pressure, maybe Breers or Alfie would have got hold of the ball and said, let's get it out the view for the moment, have a little bit of breather, get a good chase on. Certainly George Alice would have wished to kick it.
George Alice, the former East and West Tigers player in Australia, and there with blood trickling from the bridge of his nose is Paul Anderson.
Watching Anderson there goes in and he just ducks into it, and it's a nasty, you know, it's a very, very physical game, and you don't want to see, you know, any neck injuries.
Well, it's George Alice, I think we told you earlier, has a Greek father, a Dutch mother and a Scottish wife, but he's likely to be talking Japanese for the next 10 minutes. Set up nicely for Leon Price. Good tackle, Busby. Lowe's.
Big tackle, Andrew G.
Forshaw. And Nico in as well, and has he stolen the ball? The referee's happy with it.
Yeah, I think Forshaw, that'll be interesting to see. He just got up and got the ball, so they're not looking very composed, Bradford, at the moment, and there are a lot of mistakes, turning the ball over, going over the touchline.
Marcella. McCurry has come on in place of the injured George Alice for Warrington. 10 minutes played in this second half, and we're as we were at half-time. Sibbett.
On a last tackle again, it'll go to Alfie Liner.
And it's high, too long, by a margin.
Yeah, it's a poor kick, and he won't be happy with that. He's Bradford off the hook.
There's the Warrington line. 12 of them with Alan Hunt 20 metres behind. Jamie Peacock.
Come on, no penalties.
Just sense that Warrington are trying to step up their intensity level as well. Vanganar. And anxious moments for both coaches with the game so tight. Vanganar. Oh! A real handoff of power into the face of David Heighton.
I think Van der Velde will be the happier of those two. They're playing above their station at the moment, and he just hopes they can maintain it. And on the other hand, Noble, you know, just waiting to see when they can click into gear.
About Bradford is they have so many potential match winners. This is Forshaw, though he's dropped the ball. It's a knock on.
And you know, they're throwing so many mistakes. I haven't seen Bradford make this many mistakes for a long time. They're being pressurised, they're getting frustrated, and I think they just need to, you know, get a platon, get Vangana going forward, get Fielden going forward, so that they can, you know, just make yardage to make it easier for the Paul brothers.
We had a shot there of George Alice, who looks rather stunned. I think it's Dean Busby who's down now for Warrington. Blood on his scalp. Temporary bandaging. Tells you about the nature of the game. You hear an unsympathetic referee saying, get out of the way, we want to get on with it.
Yeah, get on with it. But again, they're in their face, aren't they? Bongi, a little elbow, just protecting himself.
You're kind.
Sometimes you run onto those things, and it's not very nice, let me tell you.
Get away!
This surely a critical time in this Silk Cup Challenge Cup semi-final. Who will it be to meet St Helens at Twickenham at the end of the month? Everyone thought it would unquestionably be Bradford, but we're far from sure. Breers spotted a gap. Oh, hauled back by his shirt collar by Vanganar. It was a size 14, it's now a 24.
Sure, like a rag doll, wasn't he? But nearly got through.
And here is Breers. He's regained his composure for the kick. It's a spiralling kick. Withers underneath it and took it in classical style, and now sets off for the other end of the pitch. And Withers needs support. He's made half the length of the pitch.
That's a great take, having played full back.
Alan Hunt
there. He has not a yellow card. But it's superb play. He's made about 40 yards with us, just drags and flops, and it's very, very lucky that he hasn't been yellow carded. And very lucky. I don't know why he's complaining. Just get back, Alan.
Last year's semi-final was a real contest for an hour. Bradford eventually won by 44 to 20.
And that Warrington have got to try and cut that down. They've got to try and keep their discipline. And this is the first time that Bradford have been in the Warrington quarter.
Robbie Paul to his older brother by 2 years, Henry Paul. And now Lee Radford, starting for only the 4th time in his career, Radford. Henry Paul, familiar pose with the ball tucked almost arrogantly under one arm. Scott Naylor straightening up. Warrington under severe pressure now. Lowe's. Oh, and Peacock's in! Great delay on the pass.
And that's it. There was a delayed pass by Lowe's. Sucked the defender and the gap opened up.
One of the few English stars of the World Cup, Jamie Peacock. Got a try in the semi-final last year that helped swing it Bradford's way and may have repeated that.
Yeah, holds. Sucked the 2 defenders, and that's it. That's a good try.
Great delight for Jamie Peacock.
Again, look at them attacking half-back. They're very lazy, they're split, they haven't got up quick. And this is what he does, he gets momentum, and bang, they're still scrambling. Good run by Naylor.
There's an inquest behind the post as Henry Paul tacks on 2 more points, 18-12.
He goes towards the referee, and if you play it on, what happens? Hold it there a minute. This guy has been sucked in, so what happens then is he just goes from there to there all the way through, and it's an easy try. James Lowe just sucks Steve McCurry in, and the gap opens up.
Whilst you were watching that replay of Jamie Peacock's try, Martin Marcella has gone into the blood bin for Warrington, and Danny Nutley has replaced him. It's the 2nd time that's happened in the game for a blood bin.
Yeah, they've got to show their character now, Warrington. Try and hit back.
Is that the try that will break them or not? They're taking an awful lot of breaking.
The news from the dressing room of Steve Georgialis off the field at the moment for Warrington Wolves. Yes, it's a neck injury, and yes, he went very gingerly down the tunnel for that injury to be further examined. I don't think Georgialis will be in a state to return to this game.
Martin Marcella didn't look too hot either, with blood pouring from that mouth wound. Vanganar. The penalty goes Warrington's way.
It's always difficult, you know, if you think you're held, if you're not held. There's Marcella. Watch as he goes on, there's a tackle, Highton. Yep, he's on the floor. You can ask whether he was held or not, but the referee has got to make a decision, and he gave the decision for Warrington.
Highton's tap on the 20-metre line. Nutley, newly arrived. Warrington need to score next in this game. G.
Stand out, Stuart, stand out, hands out.
Penalty.
Well, foot's in there.
There's a foot in at the play the ball, and Langer has tapped it quickly to Koalov. Koalov has shown that Rigon defensively has been somewhat fragile. Now Dean Busby spinning towards the line. 2 tackles gone. Highton trying to burrow over. Busby lending support, but he won't get over this time. 6 points in it. Bradford in the lead. Langer. G. Breers. Taking it up towards the line. Pretending to slip it. Breers goes through! Lee Breers for Warrington! What an effort they're putting up!
Great try, he gets on the outside, I think it's Robbie Paul. The dummy runners two dummy runners, they hold the defence up, and he just uses his pace to get on the outside. He's having a tremendous game, Lee Briers.
His second try, and it's the Wolves fans that are dancing. They weren't given a prayer.
It's all about, they've got Andrew G at standoff, first man, the ball goes out, standing start, he just looks what's happening. One dummy runner, two dummy runners, and he's just got a little bit of an edge on his Henry Paul, not Robbie Paul, and just gets to the try line. Here he goes again, he just goes and goes. One dummy runner, two runners, and just hold him. He's just got to run on Henry Paul.
Lee Briers then has regained some calm. He's kicking towards the Warrington fans. And he's kicking well. We're back on level terms.
We've got a game on, that's a great response. He says it's important for Warrington to score next on their half.
And Lee Briers, who lives 300 yards from the St Helens ground at Knowsley Road, desperate to face them in the final.
The two dummy runners just stand the defence up. And he just gets on the outside of Henry Paul. The dummy runners made the difference. Superb try.
There aren't that many of them. They didn't sell too many of their tickets, Warrington. Many of their allocation was sent back. Happily, the good weather has brought out many of their supporters to pay on the day. And are they glad they've come?
Hopefully this will kick-start their season. They needed a performance like this. And irrespective of the result, they surely show that they can be a force in Super League.
I wonder whether these injuries are going to start to tell, though. Georgialis off the field, Marcella off the field, and now Busby for the umpteenth time injured.
Yeah, he's taken a bit of a battering today, and no one was near him, whether it's his ankle or his knee or his head is bleeding again. He's in the right state, isn't he? Oh.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's got to go.
No, get the replacement on. Right, tackle one.
It's all right for the referee to say get the replacement on, but Jérôme Guisset is the only replacement available.
Well, I'm not sure where the cut is. There seems to be blood coming from everywhere. I think what must have happened was he lost his footing and his head would have hit one of the Bradford players, but he's bleeding from all kinds of places.
I think the blood on the right-hand side of his head as we looked back then was from an earlier wound.
Nice friendly game, John.
Well, he won't be going to give blood in the near future because he won't have much left. Here's Hunt. Ryan McDermott back on in place of Lee Radford for Bradford. That may be significant. Steve McCurry. Now Danny Nutley. The man on the left will be happier than the man on the right.
Would want to be a coach.
Rear's kick. It's going to go out of play. Just. There's Lee Radford.
He's made an impact.
The problem is that someone's made an impact on him.
Paul Medley on the Bulls bench. Paul, I mean, this has got to be much more finely balanced than you ever expected.
No, there's always the finally balancing a Challenge Cup semi-final. They're always tough games, they're always good games. You know, yesterday was a great game, and today, you know, there's another one proved.
You must be surprised, though, by the Wolves' resolution and their drive of this game.
Well, if a player can't get himself up for the semi-final of the Challenge Cup, then, you know, there's something wrong with him. Every player's got passion and pride, and that's what Warrington is showing today.
Sure enough, thanks, Paul.
It's a good point. Paul Medley knows what it's like to play in these occasions. That's motivation. Well, hardly needed. The occasion does it for you, and if you've been written off left, right and centre, doubles it. Lowe's, last tackle. Henry Paul wanted to kick. Now he has to pass. Spun out towards Leon Price, who tries to chip over the top. Stenhouse formed a barrier. Civic dived on the ball, and then he's pushed into touch.
Very clever play there by Price. Wasn't a lot of options left open to him, but a lovely little chip. He had to take it. I think that Civic had to take the ball, and he had no chance of staying in the field of play.
Let's go, fellas, come on, let's go. Let's
Paul Anderson
let's go.
enjoying a rest. still have a big part to play. Robbie Paul. Fending off Alan Hunt.
Right, one, stand up, stand up.
That's good defence, good communication, leave him run across field. You know, don't break the defensive line.
Ryan McDermott. Inside the 10-metre area now.
Stand up, hands up.
The Bradford Bulls threatening to go back in front. Lowe's. Peacock, who scored once already. Now it's Mike Forshaw. Cutting back towards the post, offloading to James Lowe's. Lowe's with only Wriglon outside him. So far, the Wolves' defence is proving stout. Robbie Paul to Withers. Straightening, running into traffic, running into trouble, running into a three-man tackle. And this is the last tackle. Lowe's, kick through. Oh, dangerous! And it's loose. And Brian McDermott has plunged over the line.
Time off.
And the referee is going to go to his colleague in the television trucks to decide the fate of this move.
I'm looking for
I think he's thinking that Henry Paul knocked on. I'm not really sure. They're having a good chat there. We'll have to wait and see. It's difficult to see the offside from there. There's the kick. Yeah, that's a knock-on. I think he did touch the ball, didn't have control of it, so I would say that's a knock-on. It'll be Warrington scrum, I feel, or a handover goes on the last tackle. See if he's offside. This is the angle. Well, no one's offside. Again, it's how dangerous the kick is. You know, if you deflect it, you take the pace off and give it a chaser. There's the knock-on. Lost control of it. I would say it's a scrum.
Ian Ollerton, the video referee, has made his decision.
I think it's not the try, knock-on. And you could say by Henry Paul's reaction, there you are.
Relief for Warrington. Is it only temporary relief? Bradford will try their utmost to keep the Wolves pinned in.
Yeah, they need some quick play the balls and good yardage to get good field position.
Penalty given Warrington's way.
And that will help their cause immensely because the Bradford defence have put a bit of a squeeze on the last 10 minutes. Here he goes down, loads in attack, he tries to get up. Again, and that's a decision that could have gone either way. Did he get up before, to play the ball, or was he pushed down, and the decision favoured Warrington again.
Right, tackle one, come on, Jim.
His father played in a Challenge Cup final for Wakefield Trinity, Alan McCurry.
That's two, and away. All the way, Jim.
Alan McCurry coached us when we were in Witness.
Didn't need coaching, did
And
you?
two, clear.
Coaching.
Clear. Wait. Come on, Brian.
Koku, the chief executive, will be thinking about the bank balance.
Come on, the line.
Prospect of a trip to Twickenham, a 70,000 sellout, will be very welcome. But for Warrington, given their financial difficulties, it will be a godsend.
Yes.
Marcus, square, Marcus.
It's just the lift, that it gives everyone a lift.
Last. Like the 10.
And all of a sudden, the top tackles at Bradford. You see how it swung a little bit, and they'll have to tackle again. That's a poor pass by Alfie Langer. But Henry Paul is doing a lot of work defensively, as well as trying to orchestrate the attacking play of Bradford.
On the last tackle, so it's the handover, and this is Brian McDermott.
Right, tackle one, get out, Steve!
Only once since 1925 have Warrington beaten Bradford in the Challenge Cup. Here's Henry Paul, and he's found Scott Naylor, and there are any number of players in support. It's Michael Withers, hauled back. But can Warrington scramble back?
Yeah, they should have scored. Scott Naylor didn't have the speed, but now they need a scrambling defence, Warrington.
It's Henry Paul. The only man available is Scott Naylor, and Warrington have had time to set themselves defensively again. Lowe's. Spruce. Up to the line, turns back, looks for support. It comes from number one, Robbie Paul.
That's good play. They didn't commit.
Come on.
They kept the defensive line. Didn't offer any gaps for Robbie Paul.
Brian McDermott. Oh, gets it away well to Lowe's. James Lowe's held it right on the line. and it's the final tackle.
Superb tackle,
On the line, Alan!
Withers. Oh, overcooked the pass, but it's the left-footed drop goal by Henry Paul, and it's good.
Just shows what a complete footballer this guy is. Superb take of the pass. Watch it, he's there. Superb take, a bad pass on his weaker foot, plenty of confidence. Swings it, over it goes.
Magnificent balance.
Superb break, bang, steps inside Sibbett, gets pace to go past Nico. And the Scott there knows he hasn't got the pace to get there. Withers comes in, does the right thing, goes down, quick play the ball. Nothing came of it, only apart from the drop goal.
Here's Anderson for Bradford, now Lowe's. Not the best of passes. Not one that Stuart Fielder will thank him.
They seem very scrappy, Bradford. Not, like I said, not the usual poise and control that they usually play with.
Ryan McDermott.
Stay on the line, there's a noise.
Playing the ball to Henry Paul, back to McDermott. And now Robbie Paul with that bandage above his eye. Mike Forshaw.
Four, Jerome! Andy, come on.
Is there enough petrol left in the Warrington tank?
Last! Make the 10! Come on in!
It's the kick from Henry Paul. Right in towards the corner. This is awkward for Stenhouse. Price is closing in. Ball's come loose. Stuart Spruce! On moments like that, our trips to Challenge Cup finals decided. And they believe that might be enough. It's the veteran fullback Stuart Spruce, and Bradford have some breathing space.
Yeah, rather innocuous kick, nothing on. They defended superbly, and he just chips it into the corner. And again, it's the bounce of the ball. Plenty of time, good chase, but he should have collected that. Stenhouse should have got there. That's the mistake. One lapse of concentration, and that's the difference. He should have got to the ball a lot quicker. The chase was good. Spruce just turns out of the tackle and scores. And could that be the try that puts him into the final?
Well, so much depends on this kick, because at the moment the gap is 5 points. If Henry Paul misses this, then the gap is less than a converted try. If he makes it, Warrington are going to have to score at least twice.
That's there, right down the middle. And now they've got it all to do. They've got to get back and score. How important that drop goal was. Sprucey, I knew him as a young kid, and he's going to maybe take Bradford to the final. Look at that, there's nothing on here, nothing on at all. They've got to get to the ball a lot quicker, because you just put yourself under pressure with the chasing Bradford players.
So old that he played with you in a Challenge Cup final, Jonathan.
No, I'm the old one. Warrington have got to try and keep the discipline.
Wait.
Still enough time for them to get back into this game.
Well, they've done everything that they possibly can to bond and build some team spirit this year. They started the season, Warrington, by going off to a marine outside bound course down in Plymouth a couple of weeks before their first game. You will be glad you retired, Jonathan, when you hear that they were going into the sea at 4 in the morning for swimming sessions, running around with daggers and swords.
Stand up!
But it has taken a while for them to get going. In this game, though, it took them no time at all. Oh, look at Anderson! The archetypal bullocking run. And here's Brian McDermott, the other prop. James Lowe's, space ahead of him. Scott Naylor, try! The Bulls are on their way.
That is Anderson's try, isn't it? The bulldozing run. First of all, he had no support with him, but they realised he was bashing his way through, and that is now the try. Watch, bang, goes to Heighton, goes through him. There's no support, and tries to knock him over. He's got no chance, and it's lovely skills of McDermott. Good awareness by Lowe's and good support by Naylor. And that is a good try, a very, very good try. And surely that will take Bradford to Twickenham.
Well, it's been a great contest for 67 minutes, but now the Bulls have the power and the pace and the energy and, as we were saying before, the petrol in the tank. And they seem to have broken the spirit finally of the Warrington Wolves.
Yeah, as you said, you know, they've made a lot of work in defence they've had to do. I think Ian Millward said as well they had more in the tank, maybe Bradford did, and that's just showed in the last 2 minutes. Couple of quick tries, and now they've got to try and get back into it. I think it's beyond them now, but they've got to show a little bit of character again to get back there.
5 tries to 3 in Bradford's favour. Henry Paul. Easier kick than the last one, which he made. Suddenly the gap is 13.
Yeah, it's again, watch them, they come up here, they're slow at the half-back, and Lowe's has enough time. But watch this charge, bang, straight at Highton, straight through him. Hunt unwisely tries to bash him. He's given about 4 stone up there. And it's a lovely offload by McDermott, then Lowe's, and good support play by Scott Naylor. And they now know they are going to the Challenge Cup final.
Cup holders finally, belatedly, showing potential cup-winning form. The one thing that you would say as you look at the second half possession, which is absolutely level as the scoreline has been for so much of the time, is that it would be desperately harsh on Warrington if Bradford run in another 2 or 3 tries now.
Yeah, it's been so close. You know, 68 minutes of very, very good rugby by both sides and very close, even contest. And just 2 quick tries, and that is the difference.
Fielden. There's not been that much between the sides. Oh, and a punch thrown. Nico and Lowe's. The referee, I think, got a view of it.
Well, mate, you might have been committed, but you've gone right above the shoulders with that. Right.
High by Nico. And the response by Lowe's was predictable.
Yeah, there was a lot of... I think there's a history between those 2 players. Frustration on Nico's part. Maybe his last chance of playing in another final. Andrew G is off. He knows he won't play in a Challenge Cup final again. And it's just a little bit of frustration. They'll take the pace out of the game now. Take the heat out of the game, just going for goal again, killing the clock.
Nico, who's 34 now, Langer approaching 35. This was their final opportunity of getting to the showpiece occasion. At least Nico has been there once before in 1992 with Castleford. Langer, who has come so late to the English game, will never play in the Challenge Cup final now. His 6th successful kick to go with a drop goal. 13 points for him, and 33 to 18 is the Bradford lead.
He'll have been proud of his players. They put a good performance up, and as I said, it's just fatigue has set in. As you mentioned, John, they've had a lot of injuries and changes. They just got to keep on going. That's one. Look at that. He's given it all, hasn't he, Busby?
Well, there have been moments when it would have seemed appropriate if Don King had been promoting this event. It's been a fully fledged physical battle.
Right, tackle 1, stand out, Marty!
It's an engrossing spectacle. As much because of that as anything else.
2 cracking semi-finals, haven't we?
Yesterday's reckoned by many good judges to be as good a Challenge Cup semi-final as there's ever been. Here's Anderson again. Who can stop him? Who can stop him passing? Here's Forshaw. Robbie Paul. Paul under the post. This is cruel on Warrington.
Anderson has definitely made an impact since coming on. Good support play once again. They learned from his first charge. But just lovely inside ball. Gise just overreached the play. Good ball. Forshaw hasn't got the legs to get there. Robbie Paul, good half-back play. He's over again.
Well, rugby league players these days are full-time professionals, but had he had a job outside the game, it would surely have been that of a demolition expert.
Yeah. Manny Marcella gets bumped over. He's such a big lad. And I think, since he's gone to Bradford, he's developed his, his playing, his offloads, his timing of taking and giving of passes has improved. And that's a lot of work that's been put into him to improve his basic skills. And it's certainly paying off.
Well, don't be deceived by that scoreline if you've just joined us. This has been a really close game.
There he goes, it's the inside ball, and watch Gise there, 12. He just reads the play too much really, and he's come on the inside of him. Good support play once again, and it's that man Robbie Paul.
Now down on the touchline, Brian Noble, the Bradford coach, in his first season in sole charge. 3 times as a player he lost a semi-final. 3 times as an assistant coach he lost a semi-final. He gained a taste of victory last year as Matthew Elliott's right-hand man. But now, in his own right, he's leading his team to Twickenham, to the Challenge Cup final at the first time of asking.
And it will be a great game. 2 informed sides. It'll be very, very close. It'll be interesting to see who the bookies pick as favourites. But Lee Priers, I think, he's given it all and he's been superb. Deserves his man of the match tag.
2 tries, 3 kicks, 14 points. But it's Bradford who are in search of more points. Insatiable appetites, it seems. Rig on. Warrington are out on their feet.
Right, it's down for 4. Hands out, Alan.
Yeah, they're out on their feet, they're strong, and they've got men on the right. If the ball goes to the right.
Careless handling in the end, but Bradford can afford it. Oh, and what a shame. The tempers finally boiling over.
Stand away. Come on, he's on the floor. Leave him.
That's just frustration.
Come on, move out. Move out, fellas. Right, we're going with a scrum out here. Let's just break up, fellas, eh? Come on, let's move away. Right, move back. Bulls go back to your 10. We're going back out for a scrum anyway. Come on back. Come on back. Come on back. Yeah. Right, just wait there. Danny! Where's he gone? Yeah, I know, that's what I'm doing. Brian! Let's go, mate. Danny!
The referee won't want to have to take any punitive action at this stage.
Look, fellas, it's been let's have a word, right? It's been a tough game, right? He's every right to tackle here, he doesn't know the whistle's gone, right? So let's just play it out, okay? We're going over here to scrum, right? No advantage. Scrum.
It's frustration, isn't it? The whistle's gone. McDermott doesn't know the whistle's gone.
Right, hold, fellas.
And then there's a little bit of a argy-bargy, a couple of punches going in there. I think that's frustration on Danny Nutley's part, and I think McDermott realised that.
Right, tackles down, fellas, come on.
Here's David Kidwell. He's on the field for the first time with just a matter of seconds remaining. Suggests that he's not fully fit. The New Zealand international, played for New Zealand Maori at the World Cup. It's a measure of Lee Breer's performance that he will finish on a side defeated by a significant margin, but still has been named man of the match.
Yeah, he's been exceptionally well.
Carlo, Nico. Back with Koalov. Warrington looking for some form of consolation, and they deserve it. Kidwell, outside him, Sibbett.
You've got to say that apart from maybe a 5-minute spell, they've been equal to Bradford.
Hunt kicks through, Spruce takes. And it's a question now of playing out time for Warrington. Bradford may just look for one last spectacular length of the field score, knowing that. It's going to be Bradford against St Helens at Twickenham in a day less than 4 weeks. It was Stuart Spruce's try that finally broke the hearts of Warrington. The countdown is on.
Yeah.
Right, come on, Lee, wait for his
One more tackle. Bradford are in the final.
Forshaw throws it out to Naylor. The hooter about to sound at any second. Ball has gone loose. Maybe a chance for some sort of redemption for Warrington. Breers going for his hat-trick. The man of the match, plunging over the line. The referee, Stuart Cummings, will go and have a word with his touch judge. He may not want the delay of the video referee, but he is going to go to the screen to decide whether Lee Breers, in a losing cause, has scored a hat-trick.
Well, you know, he certainly had a great game, hasn't he? And you'll see if there is a knock-on. I can't see a knock-on. It's a loose pass, as you said. Bradford are trying to run the ball. You know, they're in a comfortable position. There's the first kick. That's great control. That is a try. No knock-on. It's a good try. Deserves it. Just lovely to get a hat-trick. Unfortunately, on the losing side.
What a valiant effort by Breers and Warrington. They've kept going right to the end, because 80 minutes was showing on the clock when Breers, now in pain, both emotional and physical, plunged over. And the Warrington supporters taking some solace from that.
Yeah, not many have turned up. They thought they were going to have a severe beating, but they've been exceptional, and the supporters will be proud of the effort of their side, especially this man Lee Breers, a hat-trick on a losing side, but you know they've given everything.
Well, as a Bradford player that knows what it's like to score a hat-trick in a losing cause, Robbie Paul in the most sensational of Challenge Cup finals in 1996 against St Helens, and that's going to be the pairing again. The last kick of the semi-final from the man of the match in the semi-final, Lee Breers. Oh, unlucky, like his team.
Yes, give it on. There we are. Bradford deserve their win, and what a mouth-watering final we're going to have now. Two form sides, plenty of ability all round, but you know, Warrington, great effort, great play by especially Breers and Happy Langer. The forwards did well, but just weren't